Is this live or is this a green screen? Is this the original blue chair? You'll never know. So today what I'd like to discuss is this concept of being investable. If you wish to have other people invest in you, then you need to be investable. When I was a younger teenager, around the age of 13, 14, when I first got the internet, I was honestly an arrogant little snot. I didn't know jack shit about anything, but I thought everybody owed me an explanation of everything because I just knew what they knew. I'd be able to sort out the world. And it wasn't until I turned around 16 or 17 that I understood that if I wanted other people to be open to teaching me, I needed to be investable. What do I mean by be investable? When people invest in stocks, it's because they expect them to go up. They expect them to pay dividends. So I put this much in, I get this much out. And when people are giving you information for free, often it is not just because they want to be an encyclopedia. They just want to control their brain. They actually want to see you run and do something with it. They want to see you accomplish something. There are a lot of people out there that are willing to give away information for free. They've made it in life. They've made enough money. They've had enough accomplishments to feel like they are secure in where they are in the world. What makes them feel good is helping the next generation achieve their goals, is seeing what somebody else can do, how they could take the knowledge they have in their head and make it work for them in a manner that benefits the world. However, if you demonstrate that you are not going to do anything with the knowledge you are given, you are not demonstrating that you are investable. And if you don't demonstrate that you're investable, nobody's going to put any time into you. Now, something that I notice is that when people are willing to take time out of their day to explain something to somebody else and it goes nowhere, often they're not going to say why they stopped responding. They're not going to say why they stopped replying. They're not going to say why they're not helping you anymore because they don't want to be called rude or being an asshole for just speaking the truth. So I would like to explain this concept and I'd like to give an example. And I really don't want to call out this particular person. This happens a bunch of times every single day, but it happens to be a decent example. Somebody said, I don't know if you'll see this, but I would appreciate any help I can get. I have this 2011 MacBook Pro. The battery's fried, so I had to keep it connected to the wall. I recently bought a battery, and it clearly works because I can plug it in, and it will turn on. And if I unplug it, it will stay on. The reason why I need your help is because I can't turn it on when it's only using the battery. And, I would honestly appreciate any help. So my question is, okay, this person's seen my videos. They've seen enough of it to find my contact email. So I figured maybe they've watched some of the board repair stuff, or they at least know that there is a board repair guide out there that I spend time writing 150 pages into, and that I have, a basic electronics video series, all this. So my question is, I'm willing to help. What is PP3V42_G3hot and PPBushG3hot with only the battery present? He sends me a video that has absolutely nothing to do with my question. It says, I tried to figure out what PPBushG3hot and PP3V42_G3hot are, but that's much more in depth than I am used to. I'm sorry if I'm incompetent. I'm not very good at this type of stuff. And point taken. People are not always good at things. So if I said, okay, measure a power rail for me, and I have a video called What is a Power Rail? I have videos on what is PPBushG3hot and what is PP3V42_G3hot and what is its purpose in a circuit. I have a 150-page guide that has pictures in size 72 font that literally walks you through this as if you are a preschooler. And you decide, I am going to read none of that. I am not going to answer your question. Rather, I'm just going to demonstrate that I am completely and utterly helpless and incapable of looking up anything. What you're doing, in my mind, is you're demonstrating that you are uninvestable. That if I tell you, okay, that is a power rail, that you're going to go, what is a power rail? When I explain what a power rail is, you're going to say, how do I measure it? When I tell you use a multimeter, you're going to say, how do I use a multimeter? When I say turn it to volt, you're going to say, what is volt? You get my drift like there. I know at that point that no matter, again, I know because I've gone down this path before, that no matter how much information I give you, there's always going to be a follow-up because you're unwilling to do any of the work required to actually find the answer. That demonstrates that you're uninvestable, as you currently are. And if you are uninvestable, then I can't invest time into you. If you're not going to do anything with what I give you, then I am wasting my time. Because again, if I'm going to help you out for free, and I've helped out many people for free, that's part of what this entire channel is for, I need to know that there's actually some small, tiny chance of there being a positive outcome. Now, 100% no. Even 50 or 30% no. But it's got to be like above 5 or 10%. You must understand that people who were at the top of their craft, at the top of their field, the people that I was engaging with when I was a teenager at Avatar Studios, Progressive, and everywhere else, they get nothing out of taking time out of their day that they could spend making $75 an hour, fixing studio gear for other people, teaching some teenager shit. They get nothing out of that other than the feeling that something is going to work again that otherwise wouldn't work, that their knowledge is being passed on and is going to be used in a productive way. If I rob them of that, they have no incentive whatsoever to teach me jack shit. And it would be selfish of me to rob them of that by not respecting the information they've given me enough to show them that I can run a little bit with it before I ask my follow-up question. So I responded, okay, I have about 600 videos, a 150-page guide. It describes what all this stuff is. I mean this in the nicest way possible, but if you're not willing to put in even the most basic time investment to learn the most basic things from my pre-existing content and resources, I'm not walking you through this step by step. You're demonstrating a lack of respect for the information I've put out there already and my time. And many people are not going to say that. They are just going to hit delete on the email. They are going to hang up the phone, or they are just going to stop talking to you. And the reason I say this is because all of the success that I've had, all the stuff that I've gotten to learn at a young age, I got to learn because I learned how to be investable. I'm still friends with the people on that internet forum that used to just kick my ass regularly for being a stupid teenager. I remember I was like, when I was 13, one of the people on that forum was 20, and we're actually still friends today. I was horribly immature, and I acted like this on a regular basis. I was very entitled, I was a very douchey young teenager. But it took me changing that in order to get people to actually give me information. When I started working at Avatar Studios, I was 17 years old and completely clueless about everything. So I would sometimes ask a question, what is this? And they would answer. And I wouldn't then immediately say, okay, what is that? Well, that's C. Okay, so what is C? C is D. Okay, what is D? D is this. I wouldn't start doing that. I would take that information, and then I would Google it a little bit. I would look some stuff up. I'd read the tape op forums. I'd read the Gear Sluts forums, which admittedly were more cancerous than the tape op forums. I'd read the womb forums. I'd ask the other interns. And then I would mess with something on my own. I would go to, like, let's say, the parts box in the tech room, and I would start pulling apart something just to get an idea so I wouldn't be working on the main console. And then once I had 30 or 45 minutes of research in, I would say, okay, here's what I came up with. Then I would give my next question. What that did is that told Roy Hendrickson, that told Ricky Beeg, and that told Phil and Gretchen. I was actually taking the information they gave me and running with it. I wasn't just going to stay still with the information they gave me and then wait for them to give me another to go over here, and another to go over here, another to go over here to drive them nuts. If they gave me this information, I would run as far as I could with it. Maybe this is as far as I get, but at least I ran someplace with it so they can see that I'm actually doing something with the information, which means that they are going to give me more information into the future. If they are going to help me again, then I may get even further with that particular information. And this is something that I think is very important when it is you're trying to learn something new or do something new if you want people to invest in you. Another example that I could give, other than just learning board repair or stuff like this or asking please bro types of questions via email, is something like, let's say, a nonprofit. So now, as I said, there was a donor that gave $1 million to my nonprofit. Really cool. Thanks. Very, very happy that they were generous enough to do that. Now, if I were to go back to them and ask for more money, what do you think would be better? If I asked them for more money immediately, or if I say, hey, look, we got a bill passed in New York State where we've been laughed out of the legislature for 7 years. We got a bill passed in Colorado we were laughed at last year. We got the FTC to actually start releasing papers demonstrating that much of the arguments that come from the anti-right to repair side are wrong with citations, and it's over 50 pages, and this is now a mass media issue. This is all the work that we have done. Here's how far we got. Again, it's not where we need to be. But look, we started here. Now we're here. What do you think will get you a better result? If I demonstrate that I moved from here to here with what you gave me, or if I just stayed over here and did nothing and then said, give me another $1 million. I don't want to go back to this person and ask for a dime more money until I've demonstrated that I can massively move the needle with the money that I have received, in spite of the fact that I'm working against other companies that probably spend anywhere from $50 to $200 million a year lobbying against all of this stuff. In the state of Massachusetts, they spent over $26 million in 1 year alone trying to convince people that auto mechanics were rapists and burglars. You know, people have commented every now and then, why don't you promote fighttorepair.org more? Why don't you promote your nonprofits? I don't want to go back to that large donor or any of you and ask for a fucking dime until I demonstrate with the money that we have already received that I can move the needle from over here to over here, that we can get from being considered a joke for 6 or 7 years to making progress like that inside of a year. If I'm able to do that, then I will be able to come back to you like a man and say, we would like more money, here's why we deserve it, here's why we should get it, here's what we're going to do with it. You understand where I'm coming from? Do you understand what I'm saying? You want to demonstrate that when somebody provides you with any sort of investment, that you are not just going to sit there and do nothing and waddle in it, but that rather you're going to make a run, at least make a try, some sort of attempt before you go back and ask for more. Whether we are talking about advice and counsel or whether we are talking about cash dollars. Do you understand where I'm coming from here? Do you understand my point? I'm not trying to be mean when I talk to people like this. I'm really not. I want them to understand this because in order to get other people to find them to be investable, they are going to have to change their outlook. They are going to have to change the way they ask questions. They're going to have to change the reward system for the person that is providing them with answers. Because if you don't give them that little kick of dopamine that comes from, oh, wow, that information I gave him, he actually did something with it, then they're not going to keep giving you information. Again, if he comes back to me and says, okay, PP3V42 is 3.4 volts, PP-G3 out is 8.1 volts. I don't know what that means. I at least know, okay, cool, you measured something. You did what I asked. You learned what a power rail is. You learned how to use a multimeter or something like that. I can then at least see, okay, now I can give you the next hint and know that it's going to go somewhere. Okay, PP-G3 out is supposed to be 8.55 volts. You said it's 8.1 volts. Here's one or two things you may want to check to see why that is. And then he says, oh, yeah, well, there was actually a little bit of green over here. Okay, yeah, there was a little bit of green over there. What does that mean? And I can go, what do you think it means? You see, like, we can have a back and forth. But if you respond with, I'm just going to ignore every single thing that you have posted for the past 8 to 10 years in this channel. I'm going to pretend you never posted a guide. I'm going to pretend you never posted any of these videos. I want you to spoon feed me everything. Type me a 15-page paper from scratch, even though you have a 150-page paper already. How do you think I'm going to respond to that? Really? Truly? Honestly? How do you think I am going to respond to that? And here's the thing. I'm going to take a guess that this person is young based on the email and the way it was written. I'm going to guess probably teenager, high school, early high school. So they probably had no idea that the way they were asking their question actually had this bit of tinge of disrespect to it. The same way that when I was on one of these forums back 20 years ago, I can't believe I'm that old. I got the internet in 2002. That when I was asking questions and when I was interfacing with the community, that I was doing so in a very disrespectful manner that made other people not want to deal with me. Which is why I'm making this video. So hopefully you kind of get an idea of where I'm coming from. If you want people to give you answers, if you want people to invest in you, instead of invest time in whatever they're doing, demonstrate that you're investable. Demonstrate that people are not wasting their time when they put their time and effort into you, and you will get a better outcome from it. You may think, I don't have to do that. Why bother? Why should I change? Blah, 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 blah. When I was 18 years old, I was able to go out into Manhattan and freelance at other recording studios, charging $75 an hour to fix people's recording consoles in other studios, when other people at 26 years old were just starting at Avatar Studios as an intern. Why? Because I was able to convince and motivate and incentivize other people to give me information for free that other people would have had to pay money for and probably still not gotten in the amount of time that I did. They believed it was worth their time to show me something. And I want everybody who's watching this video to make other people that are smarter than them, that have more skills than them that they want, to be able to make those people want to be mentors to them. There's this one guy in this one Chipmasters forum that I remember talking to. His name was Duke, and I have 2 videos really demonstrating my appreciation for this gentleman as a great mentor to me when it comes to board repair. And I remember he answered one question that I had. I sent him $300. I didn't even know if that was his PayPal email, if it would go to spam. I sent him $300. He responded thinking it was a mistake, saying, you know, in the past 4 years I've posted on this forum, I think I've gotten about $13 or $17 in total once. And I said, listen, you answered my question. The answer you gave me led to me learning all of these other things and looking into all these other things, and it helped me do a repair. So I want to say thank you. And for years, anytime I had any sort of question, I could always ping him. And like it was the start of a great mentoring relationship. And it's because I hope I demonstrated that if he teaches me something, if he just points something out to me that I missed, that it's not a waste of his time, because I will figure it out. And even if I don't figure it out, well, at least I respect you enough to give you some money for it. Just something to think about, just some food for thought. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.